Welcome back to beating Roboquest without shooting. It's time for the Ranger. Ranger is a pretty interesting class because the javelins aren't primarily cooldown based. You can pick up the javelins off the ground, which allow you to throw more. And you can also enter invisibility to get them back. And now to repeat the rules. I cannot fire guns. The only exception will be non-damaging alt fires like the barrier or the sonar shot. I can only deal damage with my secondary attack, main ability, head bonking, and any other upgrades I get. And I have to beat the final boss on Heroes plus 2 difficulty. For my first perk, I grabbed the Javelin Quiver, so I could carry an extra javelin. Just like the last run, there was nothing important in the starting chest. With that out of the way, I began the level. Accuracy was my biggest weakness. For some reason, I'm just not good at hitting javelins. But since I can grab them after throwing them, it shouldn't be too bad. Also, they do really good damage and have piercing, so I can potentially get multi-kills, and it allowed for easy enough enemy clearing. I completed my first challenge room, and there was nothing important in the chest. I leveled up and chose unstable javelins, so I got another javelin, and any javelins on the ground exploded when I entered stealth. In the first safe zone, there wasn't anything too important, so I continued into the ruins. An important strategy that I learned when playing Ranger just in regular runs is to throw javelins first, then go into stealth. This would allow you to get some easy kills with javelins, go into stealth, get a different angle, and then throw more javelins. With unstable javelins, it further hammers down this playstyle. I leveled up again and chose Tactical Blast, so explosions from javelins reduced my stealth cooldown by 1 second for each enemy I hit. I finished the stage with an S rank in 2 minutes and 11 seconds. In the ruins, I bought a screwdriver and a rake from the shop. I also grabbed the lemon from the free chest. Then I went through the door. I tried my best to get javelin hits while also making sure they're close enough to big groups so the explosion was as effective as it could be. The first arena wasn't too difficult. I just had to make sure I could grab my javelins but avoid them when my stealth was ready for a big explosion. After fighting my first shield generator enemy, I realized how powerful the javelins are. It shouldn't really surprise me because of the amount of damage Ranger can do in a regular run. I completed my next challenge room and grabbed a Frog Prince. I leveled up shortly after and chose Nasty Mirage, so my decoy became a sentry to attack enemies. There was nothing I wanted in the safe room, so I went through the rest of the stage. The next arena was just like the first: run around, grab javelins when I need them. I eventually got to the free perk point and I chose Mocking Mirage, so my decoy sentry lasted longer. Then I made it to the boss. Just like the last 2 runs, we got El Mystico. Javelin hits and explosions were difficult to hit, but my decoy sentries did some nice damage. After a bit of time, I killed him and leveled up again. I chose to get Pyro Mirage, so my decoys did burn damage. I completed the stage with an S rank in 4 minutes and 21 seconds. With nothing important in the field starting room, it was time to begin the level. These first few encounters were pretty simple. I went through the challenge room and I grabbed a super sandwich from the chest. Before killing the big guy, I leveled up and I spent my point on Wild Rush, so picking up javelins upped my movement speed. Now because this guy was flying, my javelin explosions were pretty inconsistent. After that, I went to the safe room and bought claw strings. Just like the last run, the free chance taunted me with a legendary shot cannon that I couldn't use. I continued through the rest of the stage. This arena was cleared pretty quickly, and I don't think I noticed that during the run. After that, I leveled up and I chose Lucky Touch, so I got 15% auto crit chance after picking up a javelin. With the last encounter completed, I finally got the S rank on this stage and finished in 3 minutes and 34 seconds. I made it to the energy center and found nothing important in the starting room. I went through the door and cleared the first few encounters pretty easily. I completed the challenge room and grabbed some clean socks from the chest, so scratch damage was healed when I head bonk. The first arena was cleared with ease, just like the last stage. For some reason, I noticed my javelins running out more during this stage. I went into the safe room and picked up a Teddy Thermos from the chest. Then I went through the exit door. I leveled up again and grabbed Good Fortune for an extra 10% auto crit chance. I fought through to the next arena, which was just like the last one. This time I got a little better at javelin management though. After a couple more encounters, it was boss time. This time we got Sir Catercoaster. This boss was probably the better option, since I could stick my javelins in walls that are close to the boss track, meaning the explosions could hit him. Eventually he was killed and I leveled up again. I chose Hunter's Mark so I can mark enemies who attack my decoys. I finished the stage with an S rank and in 4 minutes and 48 seconds. At Haven City, the game taunted me again with a legendary elite sniper that I still couldn't use. I bought a spare head and a plunger from the shop. The first big guy was kind of challenging because he was a flyer. The next big guy was the slug, which didn't move, so it was easy pickings. I leveled up again and chose the javelin quiver for another javelin. I fought the next big guy and had this little encounter. A pretty close call, but I managed to survive. I had another close call with this big guy since I didn't fully recover from the last one. Eventually, with careful use of stealth and waiting for javelins to regenerate, I killed the last big guy. I leveled up again and chose sharpened units for extra crit damage. Before I left, I decided to check the extra rooms for some bonus items. I grabbed a dice and an ugly tie. I then exited the stage with an S rank and at 5 minutes and 31 seconds. I then arrived to the final stage. I bought a pan flute and a rice cooker. I also picked up a carnival mask, so if my movement speed was high enough, I got some bonus armor. I went through the stage, quickly wiping out the first encounter. I was playing pretty sloppy with fairly low health, so I avoided the big guy until after the challenge room. There was nothing that could have helped me in the chest, so I went back to take out the enemies. I leveled up and went to the last challenge room. Again, there was nothing important, and so I went to the boss. This time we got Uncle Jim, which was nice because he's glued to a wall, meaning I could easily hit him with javelin explosions. It was also pretty easy to get crits against him, since he opened up his face and had a pretty big crit spot. He was killed pretty easily. I finished the stage with an S rank and in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. The full run was completed with an S rank and in 24 minutes and 40 seconds. The first run to actually get me an S rank. This run was pretty easy and it took some risks and I almost lost it, but I managed to recover. It wasn't much of a surprise because Ranger has some pretty good damage in normal runs. It's not as good as Recon, but it beats Recon when it comes to being able to do it at a range. Anyway, my next run will be the Engineer. I'll see you then.